Welcome to the guide. I'm Yo, that's Will, and man, we're not going to have, what did you say that we've been doing recently?
Well, usually we've been just spilling mouthfuls of information.
Mouthfuls of information. Such a great line. We have been doing that, but not quite as much going on this week.
No, things are kind of starting to calm down. We're waiting for the lull in between now and E3, basically.
Yeah, and E3 is going to be huge this year. Really excited for what's going to be revealed there. There's now rumors going around that Microsoft may give hints to their next console. That's just all rumor and speculation. We know that Nintendo is going to announce their next console. Really excited to see what they reveal about that. And of course, Sony's going to have a lot of work to do with the whole PlayStation Network stuff that's been going on, which they say will be up maybe, possibly, by the end of the month.
Maybe possible. Those are
possibly
encouraging words.
They are encouraging words. So we're looking forward to E3, and the summer movie season's about to kick into full gear as well. In fact, next week we're going to have a review of the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and we're going to talk about Lego Pirates of the Caribbean here in just a bit. But before we get to that, we want to talk about Red Faction Armageddon. Now, I played Red Faction Guerrilla. That's Guerrilla, not Gorilla. There was none of that. It was set on Mars, and you're like an underground rebel faction trying to overthrow an oppressive regime. But it was basically open world, kind of Grand Theft Auto-esque, and the level of destruction, the destructible environments, was amazing. It had such cool weapons, and you could just pretty much destroy anything right to the ground. The action was a lot of fun. The multiplayer was a lot of fun. It was a great kind of underground hit, a sleeper hit. No one really saw it coming, but it was really a well-made game, and I really enjoyed it. And now Armageddon's coming out, but it's doing things kind of different. And I don't know how to feel about it because I loved that previous game so much. But what's your impression of Red Faction Armageddon so far?
Yeah, so far I think... it's definitely a different direction than Guerrilla, because I've been playing the campaign, and it's not as open as the previous one.
It's more linear.
Yeah, you're surviving on Mars during Armageddon, basically. So you're limited to a lot of caves and tunnels.
Right.
And so the landscape, it looks pretty similar in a lot of the different places.
It's hard to make caves look different.
It's hard to make a big red planet look defined.
Especially when you're underground on the red planet.
Exactly. And so your storyline, you're a mercenary. People hire you to kill people. It seems a little bit vicious.
Okay.
Kind of just dog-eat-dog gameplay. And I think the best part about it is it really uses those great Red Faction guns that you get. They have so many different unique types of guns, which are really fun to use. The camera angles, I'm not digging so much.
Right.
It's that third person, but close behind the head
kind of like Resident Evil 4 in that, where it's kind of tight in, over the shoulder, third person view.
Yeah, so I find I'm moving my character a lot just so I can see in front of me.
Right.
Because you're kind of pointed at an angle. But overall, pretty good. I haven't played any multiplayer yet, but I'm excited to finish out the campaign. So far, the gameplay's been good. It is a very usable environment. You have to destroy a lot of bridges, walls, barricades, things like that to
Which is part of what makes Red Faction so much fun. That's always been a highlight of the games.
Yeah, it's part of its origin, I think.
Part of its charm.
Yes. And so I'm pretty pleased with Red Faction so far.
Yeah, so we'll get you that full review when we've actually played more of it. However, I will say this about the Red Faction games. It does not give me a lot of hope for actually colonizing Mars, because it seems like when we do that, it's just going to be a lot of trouble, and more trouble than it's worth. Because every time I play one of those games, like, oh man, Mars is a disaster. I can get that right here on Earth. Why would I want to travel? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I hope we don't do that anytime soon, because I wouldn't want to go.
No, it doesn't look appealing from the Red Faction point of view, anyway.
No, it does not. We'll get you that full review on Red Faction once Will finishes that up. What else we're working on? Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, the fourth movie coming out. Like I said, we'll have a review of that for you next week. I'm kind of excited for that. The Pirates movies have been fun. They've been enjoyable.
Yeah.
The two sequels got a little convoluted as you try to keep track of who was betraying who and who was allied. It was like watching Survivor, with everyone like an alliance, and then they betray the alliance, and so I had a hard time with that. But this is a standalone film, so I think it'll avoid some of that convoluted plot stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think Pirates, it does a good job of being like a good summer hit movie.
Right. So the question is it still as much fun in Lego form? Well, you know, I've only played the Xbox Live demo so far and just started actually the full version of the game, so I'm working on that. But so far, like with every Lego game, you know what to expect. All right, it's very similar to any other past Lego game. Like Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars, it's got a graphical boost. It looks a lot better than some of the previous ones. It looks great. Although the splashes, when you splash in the water, like the water effects look great, but when you splash, like what was that? You have these awesome water effects and then like the dorkiest looking splash effect ever. Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing actually.
One thing I would say about the Lego Pirates, because I was playing it a little bit, the cutscenes are hilarious.
Yeah. However, because there's no dialogue, unless you know the movies well, you might have a hard time following what's going on.
That's true, yeah.
It's all pantomime with Lego characters, so it can be kind of hard to follow the story. But gameplay, it's pretty much similar to all past Lego games. I find the character wheel kind of an interesting addition. You know, where you can have more than just like 2 or 3 characters following you. Now it looks like you can have up to half a dozen. It seems to me that could get crowded. I haven't run into any issues with it yet, but I'm not holding out a lot of hope for it because it just seems like it'd be a little overwhelming to have that many characters to choose from, all with special abilities, all to help you figure out some of the puzzles.
Right, but it is nice to have the quick select option if you want to get to a particular character.
Yeah, the wheel works well, where you hold down a button, then you pick a character, and that works out pretty well. So we'll have that full review of Lego Pirates of the Caribbean for you. But, you know, my first impression of it really is if you love the Lego games, and it's just as charming and as fun as ever, and if you love Pirates of the Caribbean, you can't miss with this one. And, you know, it's one of those family-friendly games. Although, online co-op, I find that a glaring omission. And I understand Traveler's Tales wants people to sit in the same room and hang out and do it that way. But at least give us the option, you know, because I would like to play online. I'm not always going to have Will over to play Legos with me, which sounds kind of... How old are we? Can Will come over and play Legos? But, you know, if he can't do that, then we could play online and still play Legos online.
Yeah, because Lego, it is a game that utilizes having multiple characters and teamwork levels where some person pulls a lever, someone else rides an elevator, so it would be nice to do that online.
It would be nice to have that, so that's a glaring omission so far. But we'll have that full review of Lego Pirates of the Caribbean for you next week, as well as the movie on Stranger Tides, which we're looking forward to going and reviewing for you. And I think that's pretty much going to wrap things up. Like I said, easy breezy program this time. We're going to have to rush through everything as we try to talk about 500 different topics, and looking forward to E3 coming up and the busy summer. What's your most anticipated summer movie?
Most anticipated summer movie?
Most anticipated summer movie.
Oh, I am really curious about how they're going to pull off the next Transformers.
Ooh, that comes out July 1st. We will definitely be reviewing
because they can either make it awesome or they're going to blow it.
Or it's going to be like the last one.
Exactly. So
I think I'm most excited for Green Lantern because there's all this talk about it being this generation Star Wars.
Yeah.
I want to see if they can pull that off. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do that. If you want to read more, you can always check out HollywoodJesus.com or
I'm Will at m88.org. Send me an email, or
Johan at CalvaryABQ.org. Love to hear your comments, especially what movie are you most looking forward to this summer? And yeah, that does it.
I think so.
All right, we'll see you next time on The Guide. Woo.